Think we're live. Let's see here.
Hello? Hello?
Howdy ho, welcome to Sunday Night Tool Talk Live with me and the missus and whomever else happens to show up. How's everyone doing tonight? Finally we've got this whole YouTube thing ironed out again, apparently.
Sort of.
They're telling me that it's all fixed. The videos are showing up, people are seeing them, so it's probably true. Let's say hi to everyone. Diz is in the house. Neil, Anthony, Fry Guy, Grimute is here. John Kirchdorfer. Sorry if I mangle someone's name. JG is here. Splat. Metal Axe Man. Neil F. Frank is in the house. Hey Frank, how you doing? Oh, who else we got here? We got a whole bunch of Michael Chesney is around. Rail 9222. Futon 02. Hey man, how goes it? And Steven's in the house. Let's see who else we got here. We said Frank. Mr. Doughboy. Mr. Doughboy's here. We haven't seen you in a while.
Hang on. Mr. Doughboy said a couple of things, and it says this comment is banned under new regulations.
Yeah, I'm guessing that he wrote that. Or maybe not. Who knows?
Happy Valentine's Day.
Frank says, oh, sorry, I should start from the top here. Neil says, love watching when I can. Glad to be here. Gunter says, good evening. Frank says, welcome from snowy Michigan.
I heard Michigan's super snowy.
Clint says, new subscriber, love the bear. Thank you so much. Welcome to the channel. It's the bear cat. I know. I actually am a bear cat. Did you know that? Mm-hmm. University of Cincinnati. Go Bearcats.
And then Montana, it's what? Bobcats?
Bobcats. Christian says, hello, happy Sunday. I keep forgetting today's Sunday because it's the 3-day weekend, so I keep thinking it's Saturday still. Yep. Daughter sliding in late as usual without a hall pass.
She is not sneaking in. I see her.
Uh-huh. Merwin says, happy Hallmark Day. Mike says, happy Valentine's Day, guys. Hope you had a good one. I got your check going right there. You don't have to lean all the way over on my side.
I don't have my glasses on. I have all kinds of situations happening.
Hey, so we're down here in Vegas now. We moved the setup down here with our portable rig. So any feedback on sound or lighting? We also got new lighting in place. We have 2 new studio lights here and here.
I feel like it's really washing me out.
I know. Well, that's the issue between finding something that doesn't wash you out, and we can go dimmer. Oh, look at that. Ooh, mood lighting. And we can bring the lights up some, and we can get like really bright. Look at that. That's washed out. Actually, it can go.
Nope. No, it can't, really.
All the way up to that. But that's a bit much, if you ask me. So.
That's a bit much.
Whatever that was.
Yep.
Anyway, does it need to be brighter, darker?
Digest says we're on the wrong sides. I agree. I feel like I'm on the wrong side.
The wrong side of?
The image I'm used to being
over
yeah.
There. I know, they don't like it when we switch.
John says, blind, I'm blind. I hear you. I'm feeling blind myself.
See, it says Michigan wasn't sure about having winter, then February happened. I know for a lot of places.
Montana was like that too.
It was really light. It was a really mild winter. And then this past week, just boom. I had a friend of mine from Montana call me up. He's like, dude, you left just in time.
Yeah.
He's like, 2 days after you left, the temperature went off a cliff. It's been below 0 every single day. The highs have been below 0 every single day. And now the snow's coming in. So, Troll for $1 says, glad to see that YouTube set you free. Di says, you're on the wrong sides. Please rotate. Yeah. Tim says, sound and light seems good in the normal settings. Cool. You know what? I have the new thing up, and we don't have all the little signs up, which is, if you want us to read your comment, we try to read every comment we can, but the chat gets going sometimes. So we always respond to anybody who types in at the Den of Tools. And the reason for that is it actually shows up as a big orange blurb kind of thing here. And let me see if I can add that in. Why don't you read some comments?
Am I reading it correctly? You said 9 inches of snow in Seattle.
Oh.
Doug G says, are you from Cincinnati? Go Cats.
I lived in the Cincinnati, Greater Kentucky area for 10 years. About half of high school. I did college there, and then stayed for a while, and then got out of there.
I don't have my glasses on, guys. So when he's done doing this, I'll go grab my glasses. But Dr. Falcon says my son has to run a load of tires from Nashville to West Virginia. Holy guacamole! We'll be saying prayers for him. Bill, I'm digging the heart. Steven says -7 here in Livingston. Yes. So it's a little bit cold.
It's hard pass.
Yeah. Taos, New Mexico, one of the best ski towns I've ever been to. Wow. Trolling for Dollars says 0 inches of snow here in Phoenix. That's good to know.
I don't know how you deal with it.
John says it's so cold in San Antonio. I think my ex-wife is in town. Sorry, everyone. She will leave soon. That's funny.
There we go. We got that banner back up.
9 inches in Seattle. Holy guacamole, Tim. That's bananas. He was confirming that.
Ugh.
Mr. Rover Pilot. And again, I apologize. I'm not wearing my glasses, so I'm sorry.
Why are you not wearing your glasses again?
Because they're in my purse. Says supposed to be 14 degrees tomorrow in Texas. Oh, it's going too fast for me to read. -10 in Omaha.
Oh my gosh.
David W. says supposed to get between 12 and 18 inches here in Southwest Ohio. That's lovely.
Oh my gosh. Are you kidding? How many inches?
12 to 18.
Well, it's a good thing you're not going to Southwest Ohio. Oh, wait.
But I am. I have to go get my glasses.
You better get your snow boots. All right. Sorry for the trashy setting back there. Apparently, while I was gone, somebody who also lived here has decided to encroach upon my shop space. Need to have a chat with her. Anyway, let's see here. Let's see if I can caught up with the chat messages. Sorry here. I'm just going back here just a bit here. The wrong sides. We talked about snow. Ever thought of using your forehead for advertising? You know, that's not a half bad idea. I can't wait for those table saws to come out. I really need one for this spring. I'm stunned, absolutely stunned, that Harbor Freight came out with a ratcheting. Oh, and I did find out they are replacing the old table saw with the new one. Apparently, they were going to anyway. There was new OSHA regulations that they had to comply with regarding the size and specs on the top of the table saw. And so they were changing it anyway, and they managed to get their paws on, the rights to use the ratcheting thing. So that's where that's going. I can't wait to see what they're going to do with the Admiral, though. That's the one I'm really waiting for, but we're going to have to wait till the end of the year for that. Scorpion Sunny says, hello, Bear family. Mike says, I need a cheap set of ratcheting box and wrenches. Please help, Bear. I'll tell you what, the cheapest ones I've seen that are a good deal and good quality are the Cobalt. You'll see the Cobalt set every so often, and they're pretty good. I have some right back here. We just actually moved them out of the way. But the other one is you can sometimes find Gear Wrench will do some sales. Now, Gear Wrench has several different tiers of tools, but they've got, I think it's a 30 or 40 piece that goes on sale, but it happens like twice a year, so that one's a little harder to catch. But right now is a good time to try and find the ratcheting wrenches at Lowe's, the Cobalt ones. They're a pretty good deal.
Barbecue 76, we missed a lot of things. He says, in case you missed it, I'm here. We see you.
Javier says, I bet those cashiers at Harbor Freight love the new ITC thing that's going on. Oh, but you understand, well, first of all, Javier, you understand, it's not just ITC. It's all sales. So all the coupons, they'd already converted ITC to the coupon-less version. Then now they're just converting the regular coupons to non-coupons. They're just sales. That's all they've ever been. Okay, because here's why the thing that gets me worked up when these people complain about the coupons going away and becoming sales is that they were always just sales. Because a coupon, and I can tell you because she taught me this. She's the ultimate couponer type. All right, she's the kind who would go into Walmart and buy $150 worth of stuff, whip out half a dozen or 2 dozen coupons. Next thing you know, they owe her money, and that's not an exaggeration. The real coupons that come from the manufacturer. All right, now stores can have coupons, but that's really just a sale. The reason that it makes a difference is because when you're using a manufacturer coupon, the store gets paid just the same. They take that, it's like cash, they send it to the manufacturer pays them for it. So they can have a sale, they can do all sorts of stuff, and if your coupon drives that thing down to free, in some cases, or even in some cases where they owe you money, they don't care because they're still getting paid. But with Harbor Freight being the manufacturer and being the retailer, then it's just a sale. Okay, and then the tool types, or not tool types, but deal types, really like it when they can find a sale with a coupon with a rebate, and we can do that. That's when you start making real savings on stuff. Anyway, I know I went off on a tangent on that. It's not really what you asked, but I just want to explain, since we have a bunch of people here also who are kind of wondering why I take this position on this. It's because they were always just sales to begin with. But you had to remember, take your little piece of paper to say that I get to have the sale price. Now you don't need the piece of paper. You just get the sale price.
Right. I'm seeing a lot of people talking about their weather.
Yeah. 14 degrees in Houston. Good grief.
Yep.
Shadowstalker said, when did you know you were bear trapped in a man's body? Junior high, I got the nickname Bear. We were playing paintball with some buddies. And it was like dusk. And I came out from around, it was in early winter, and I was wearing a big, you know what a military field jacket is? I had a black version of one. I was like 13 or 14. And I came around a tree right behind one of my buddies. I came up right behind him, and he turned around and screamed, fell down on the ground, and he had swore that it was a bear. Not a lot of bears in that area, but he thought I was a bear, and the name stuck ever since then. Murphy's Metalwork says, do you know anything about the pony vices sold at Lowe's? I didn't know Lowe's had pony vices. I'm honestly surprised about that. Oops, didn't mean to do that.
I'm really hungry. I'm super sorry. I'm eating.
Yeah, she was out running errands and got home like seconds before this whole thing started.
Yep. Somebody said that they're not sure that we're as knowledgeable as the bear.
Oh, well, I understand that. You're talking about those. For some reason in my head I was thinking a footman's, a foot vice, blacksmith's foot vice for some reason. You're talking about like the Irwin pony vice that they have over there. I've never used them, but I've heard good things about the Irwin brand. I mean, the other Irwin stuff, I like a lot of the Irwin stuff. I think it's well priced. I know Harbor Freight sells a vice just like that. I don't know how good it is. I'm not, usually most Harbor Freight vices are not very good, so I would not suggest trying that.
Dwayne Larson says -3 at 7 o'clock in Chicago. Wish we were there.
Oh, you have your chat window back.
Yay!
Sorry. I don't want to be there. Wish Harbor Freight would come out with the Hercules brushless drill. I would too. I wish that they had done that first before doing these other tools. Not that I don't appreciate the brushless grinder, and we got the brushless multi-tool coming out, which are great. Those are two tools. To be honest, to be fair, those are two tools that really need to be brushless. A brushless drill is kind of like a bonus round kind of thing. And 9.99 times out of 10, you don't need a brushless drill. better battery life. Sometimes you get some higher speed out of it, but you need the brushless in stuff like oscillating tools, grinders, routers, sanders, things that spin and you leave running for long periods of time. Drills are burst use increment kind of tools. You pull the trigger and 5 seconds later you're done. Whereas a grinder, you're running that for 30 seconds or so, and the same thing with sanders and all that kind of stuff. So the brushless makes more, you get more bang for your buck in brushless on those tools.
Daughter Ross says turn the brightness down a little bit.
I can't. My future's so bright.
Where's my triangle?
I have no idea. It's probably over there somewhere. Let me see if I can step it down a notch here.
Barbecue 76. I don't have to ring the bell. By the way, Shaka says Ryobi is number 1.
By the way, any of you interested in YouTubing or video kind of stuff? So I picked up, this is the remote control for it. I'm not going to spin the camera around because you'll get blinded. This is the remote control for it. And I got 2 lights on stands that clamp to the table. The lights are about a foot in width, about 9-10 inches high. The Streamlabs make these things called key lights. And they've got a small one and they've got the standard size one. The standard size one sells for $200. These are exactly the same size as the standard one. They output light pretty much the exact same way. You can control the brightness and the heat temperature of the light. And it syncs all the lights together and all run off this little remote. And these were $200 for 2. Actually, it was less than that. It was like $180 for 2 of them versus $200 for 1. So anyway, if you're interested.
And I know with the new lights, my glasses look funky, but
glary.
If I don't wear them, then I'm squinting and don't know what you're saying. So thank you again for the $2.76 super chat from Barbecue 76. I will not ring a bell because your wife will hurt me. Not ringing it.
Frank says, nice banner. Thank you. Xavier says, hey guys, hope you're having a good Valentine's Day. Snow predicted here in Rhode Island. Whew. Yeah, I hear them.
My Valentine.
No, thank you. Steve says, I picked up the Bauer 4.5 inch circular saw blade with a 30% off coupon to go with the Tack Life saw. Figured I'd try it out. Cool. Let me know how that works. I'd be interested to hear about it. In fact, speaking of Bauer, we're going to find out about the blades. Hold on.
Don't hurt me.
I got the new 12-inch Bauer saw, and we're going to try out one of the Bauer blades to see how it goes.
Hey, Travis. Saying hi from South Dakota. If you do at the Den of Tools, we'll be sure to read it.
Ronald says, y'all might have to run back home because the Titan's going to put out a travel ban, so you might have to bring some firewood with you. Adam says, do you know how long from buying the ITC online it took to get your member number? Just got mine after your video as a gift. It could take up to 3 business days for them to process it. And it took mine about that long, which is why I tell people that if a sale just popped up and you need it for that sale, you got to go into the store and get it, because they can give it to you in store instantly, but you lose out on that $10 gift card. So if you're going to do it, best do it ASAP so you have the number in case a sale pops up. And then it took about a week to get the actual card. But you don't need the card because once you get the email, it has the number. You can just give them the number. It's associated with your phone and everything. Ghost Rider says all of 9 degrees in St. Louis. Looking at up to 9 inches of snow overnight. Wow. That's unusual for you guys. Do you get a lot of snow in St. Louis? Seems like it's a little south for that much snow. Christian says, so cold in Grand Rapids, Michigan, my snowblower wouldn't start today.
It looked at the snow, was like, nope, I'm good.
Yeah. Patrick says, did you live anywhere near Hamilton or Fairfield, Ohio? I lived in Fairfield, Ohio for a hot second. And it was out on Route 4. And it was a bad relationship experience is what happened there. So we don't talk about Fairfield.
I love how you say things like out on Route 4. That means nothing to me because I didn't live there. But I'm sure it means something to somebody who
I
lived
wasn't
there.
talking to you,
I know.
oddly enough. You didn't answer the question.
I didn't.
Your flowers look amazing, by the way. Mm-hmm. Anyway, ouch, hurting me.
Happy Valentine's Day.
$2 says the trashy look makes me feel at home.
We just want everyone to feel comfortable. Oh my goodness. Futano2 with the $25.89 super chat.
Nice.
Had to reboot my phone. Super chat was in British pounds. I haven't been to the UK in over a year. I hate YouTube. For the bear needs rum fund. Oh,
I do.
I have a bell somewhere.
I'm going to show you how sad I am right now.
No, there's a teeny tiny bit. I saw it move in there. Don't gonk me on the head. You have done something with my bell.
I'll ring your bell. Northern Wyoming, probably as cold as Montana and as much snow. I'm really concerned what economics are calling for a drop in the economy in 60 to 90 days. Yeah, that people are saying that, but I'm not exactly sure what they're basing it on. I've heard a lot of stuff, and they're making a lot of claims, but I don't know. I think they're trying to go from A to C and forgetting B in there somewhere.
Futano2, thank you so much for the super chat. And oh my goodness, my glasses are super glary. We're going to have to work that out. Thank you so much. I'm going to ring, ring, ring. 3, 2, 1. Okay, that's not working.
That's really sad.
Ta-da! Thank you so much. And I'm sure that it will be in your tummy as some rum quite soon.
Oh, yeah, well. It's Vegas. I can go buy alcohol at any time. Take that, Montana.
Yeah, what is that place called here? Lee's Liquors. That's like everywhere.
Lee's is everywhere, and then what's the other place? The Bevmo.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, the back to the economy. Thing is, Biden's in his first 100 days. If the economy tanks, they're gonna point all the fingers at him. So he's got to pull out all the stops to make sure. Because that was the thing is they said, the Trump economy. If he wants to hold his own, he better not let it tank. Barbecue 76 says, in case you missed it, I'm here. Mike B says, no snow, but it's been raining 3 straight days in North Carolina.
Whoa.
Jim says, what is a good torque wrench for DIYers? Depends on what you're torquing. I'll be honest, and a lot of people don't want to trust it just because it's cheap, but Harbor Freight's got those torque wrenches that go on sale for like $10, $11. If you're just like working on lawnmowers or your Chevy or something like that, you're not like launching the space shuttle, they're a good basic torque wrench. They'll get you within spec just fine. You don't need anything that's, laboratory precision level. I mean, if you want to, more power to you, but you don't have to. And you know what else you can do? They sell, and this is actually pretty good. I'm looking around because I thought I had it around here, but it's actually back at the house in Montana. They sell a digital torque adapter that is actually, and a bunch of us YouTubers have been, testing stuff out, and we found that thing's actually pretty accurate, and it's like $35, and you can throw a breaker bar or a ratchet, anything you want on it, and use it, and it works. Let's see here. Barbecue 76 says, that means you're winning. Woohoo! Clint says, I wish Harbor Freight would come out with Hercules. We talked about that. Andy says, picked up the Hercules 20-volt mini impact. It's amazing. You mean the 12-volt mini impact? Unless they came out with the impact that I didn't know about. Di says, please type at the Den of Tools in front of your question. No need to keep repeating questions. He will get them. And she's right, because right above my head, that's what it looks like to us. And so all the other comments, we just assume you guys are chatting amongst yourselves or just want to shout something out, which is fine, but you don't need us to reply to it. So if you want us to reply to it, type that. We will get to it eventually. I read all of them. Trust me. Ask anyone who's been here. I do.
We have another super chat from Barbecue 76. said, Mrs. DeBear, your glasses are fine. I can see myself on Mr. DeBear's head. It's because
Nice.
it's because of these lights. We're
I can
still
turn it
working
down if you
out.
want.
I'm not going to ring it, but I am going to show you the bell. Thank you so much for the super chat. I feel so weird on this side. It feels very bizarre. Thank you so much for the super chat. And I'm glad you can see us.
Anyway, let's see here. Barbecue says you're already winning. What did I win? I picked a number. I sent an email. I did a thing. Doesn't matter. You win. Futon L2 says, I have a half-inch MPT air regulator dryer that died. I had a pneumatic plus from Amazon. Don't do it. Not ever. Any DIY level regulators, dryers that you would recommend. Are you just talking about like the basic chemical ones, or are you talking actually like a unit, like an AC style unit that dehumidifies and stuff like that? If you're just talking about the inline chemical one, don't get the one from Harbor Freight. They're trash. I had the one from the Cobalt one from Lowe's, and it was fine. It was cheap. I've not used any of the bigger equipment level ones because I've never really needed them. Fred says, can you believe the National Guard in Washington now will stay in D.C. until fall? Or they can keep them sleeping in the parking garage? This is going to cost us $500 million. Who's going to pay for this? Well, they have to keep the drama level up. You know, we have to keep the Guard here just in case. And now we're going to have to start quartering them in your house just in case. Frank says, scrambled eggs, fried potatoes, bacon, and toast for dinner. That sounds delicious. Hey, there's a little bear.
Hi.
You got a haircut.
Yeah, got them all cut. How's your leg feeling?
Better, actually.
He had some tightness in one of his tendons. He was gimping around. Yeah, I love
You
you.
flexing your little bear. Love you.
We went to the hardware store today. He got pushed around in the shopping cart, feeling like he was a king. He's like, yes, that way. No, over that way now.
Yep.
Toolhead says, I personally like the good old coupons, but eventually we all knew Harbor Freight was going to go without coupons and free items. I miss the free items, all right? I do hope they keep up the free items the way they're doing it now, because I do usually end up with stuff that's a lot more usable. She loved collecting the blue tool lights.
I did. We've used them like in emergencies. We've used, for a number of things.
I personally like the magnetic trays. Those things were fantastic. And I can say at this point, though, that I have enough of them. I don't really need any more. So I'm lucky in that way. But like the 5-gallon bucket, there's always a need for a 5-gallon bucket. Although I will be honest, tarps. Free tarps are probably the best deal going.
Yeah, we used them for... you need them for anything.
We didn't use them. The whole neighborhood used them. Because
Yeah.
everyone would come to me going, hey, Jeff, you got any more of those tarps? I was like the local tarp dealer.
Yeah.
Probably because I had like a shelf full of tarps in the back.
Yeah.
Javier says, last week I was over at my local Harbor Freight and noticed a lot more young people there than usual. Looks like paperless coupons are working. A lot of people have been, I love non-business people trying to tell me about how, Harbor Freight's dying. I was in there. There was no one there. Yeah. Harbor Freight is actually killing it. In fact, all the hardware stores are. Home Depot and Lowe's and Harbor Freight and Ace and Menards, they're all having the best year they've had in forever. The reason that there's like, when you go to the store shelves and you're like, hey, there's a lot of stuff missing on the store shelves, it's not because they can't sell them, it's because they're selling them too fast. And right now there's basically a traffic jam at the port of LA with probably 100 container ships or more waiting to dock, and they're routing some of them up through Seattle because they're so backed up. And it's because more people are getting involved. You get younger people. You got a lot of people who are who go into the office now. They're working from home. They're not having to use that commute time. They got more time to be DIYers and stuff, and that's why you're seeing that. But yeah, it's Harbor Freight knows what's going on. They track this stuff. They're not. You don't build a company that big by being morons.
How do I turn this down like one more?
Well, it's kind of sketchy. There's a wheel on here.
Yeah.
And see, it says 8,
Yeah.
and you should go counterclockwise. And it goes up. Then it goes down.
Okay, that looks great. right like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what we should keep it at. 7, right? That's weird.
All right. If you see this, we're at a 7. Let us know what you think. She thinks we need to go down 1.
Love you.
Barbecue 76 says, when you see a sale with a coupon with a rebate, that means it probably is a loss leader. You can explain loss leaders if you choose to. Well, sometimes it does, but often it's just a convergence because these marketing departments often don't know what one side is doing versus the other side. And they'll send out a coupon because that's the thing. And this is why Harbor Freight, another reason why they wanted to go away from it, they have to come out with the coupons 3 to 6 months before it's going to be out there, because they have to create the coupon, figure out the marketing, do the artwork, and then they have to send it to a publishing company who's going to put it out there, who's going to print it or put it in a magazine or put it in a newspaper, all these places where the coupons would show up. And you have to be months and months ahead. And what happens if they do that? Here's a perfect example. Remember, this happened actually last year or the year before. They put out a coupon for the Predator generators. And then there was that double hurricane that hit the Gulf Coast, and every generator in the Gulf Coast sold out in like 2 days.
Yep.
And then a ton of people, then this coupon comes out, and people were pissed that Harbor Freight would put it. Why would you put out a coupon when you know all your generators are sold out? Because they put that coupon out 6 months ago, and it just now hit.
Right. And it happened to be when a hurricane was happening.
Yeah, like they can't predict the hurricane.
Right.
And this is not just Harbor Freight. This is everybody. Everyone has to deal with this. This is not just offending Harbor Freight. This is all retail that does coupons has to deal with that situation. So with them going to the sale thing and having it all be digital, they can change it on the fly. If they're going to run out of something, they don't have to tempt you with something they're not going to have, so they can get rid of that coupon and bring something else up. If they know something's going to be needed, or that people want this is more popular, and a new trend comes up. Say everyone gets into crafting and hot glue guns are hot. They can then create an instant sale for hot glue guns. So it allows them to be more reactionary. And you're going to see this across the board. I think paper coupons are something that you're just not going to see going forward. It's, maybe digital or something, anything like that where they can change it on the fly. Having to, we're dealing with, was it just in time? It's called just in time. What do you call it? Not production, but
not delivery.
Something chain. I can't remember the name. Anyway, where they get the products to the shelves, they get it there just as they need it, so you're not having a warehouse filled with stuff in the back room. Means you have less overhead, and you need it makes things move faster. And the point is that with that kind of system in place, they need to be more reactionary to the stuff and less, looking at stuff, 6 miles down the road. Anyway, $12 says, I do miss the paper catalog. Good reading while you're in the head. A lot of people spending too much time reading in the bathroom. That's what I say.
PT says 370 watching and only 116 thumbs up. So thank you for the reminder. I myself, when I went and got my phone, I remembered to like it. But if you haven't already, please like the stream and share with your friends. If you haven't subscribed, think about doing that. Are you making a face at me?
No, I like daughter Ra's question though. What's for dinner?
You already had dinner?
It was pizza. I got pizza for the kids.
Yeah.
The ladies were out doing stuff, so I took the kids and we ran some errands. I grabbed pizza for them. Jim S says, howdy at Den Tools. Clint says, I wish Harbor Freight would come out with the Hercules brush. We talked about this.
Okay, but we're also way behind.
I know. Well, it's like the third or fourth time you said it. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, but I think somebody also
Oh my
mentioned
gosh.
him.
Oh my gosh. Did you make my chat jump on me again? You did.
Right, it's all me.
Fred says, did you see about the 100-car truck pileup in Fort Worth? I saw the headlines on it. I did not actually read the article. I was kind of busy. Anthony says, did anyone see Eric Schmidt's yacht is huge? I wonder if there are any Harbor Freight tools on board. I heard he had a yacht. I hadn't seen it, though. And John says, looking for a good cordless screwdriver, non-impact. If you want the first thing I would say is if you're in a battery system, I would look already like Milwaukee or DeWalt. I would look to see what they have because they're all about the same. I have the Hercules 12 volt, and I have to say, I love that thing, but I don't think it's like a step above any of the other ones that are out there because it's not a demanding tool. It's the form factor that's good. Milwaukee's got one. In fact, we did on the deals of the week, we found one where they were selling it for like $50 about a month or so ago. And a bunch of guys picked that up and they're like, this is the best tool I ever bought. I use this thing all the time. A lot of people focus on more power, more power, more power. And really what you need to focus on is, tool for the job. And 9 times out of 10, your job doesn't need more power. It needs accuracy. And that's what that tool is great for.
Scott says, I just made some yummy chocolate peanut butter brownies. Wish I could share them, at least a pic of them. You can feel free to send pictures to us.
Oh, yeah.
Our daughter is really into baking right now, so it could be inspiration for her.
Bear One says, hey, Bears, hope you're all doing well. Jeff, be sure to hope you liked the crazy death contraption I showed you. Yeah, he sent me a picture of an old, like, a DIY air compressor from, like, 40 years ago somebody made. I'm like, that's cool. I'm like, don't use it because that tank will probably pop. He's like, oh, no, I'm good. Ron says, what do you think of the Racing 3-ton? I'm thinking about using that one for lightweight instead of my Daytona 3-ton and racing. I've not used any of the aluminum racing jacks, but they're pretty common. In fact, Matco sells the exact same jack with their own brand on it. And I know a lot of guys use that thing. For if you're talking about for weight, I totally get it. That any of the standard floor jacks weigh a metric ton. So I can see why if you need something you can move around easily, you're going to go with one of the aluminum ones. Spade says, what are your thoughts on the Bauer oscillating belt spindle sander? Oh, it's fantastic. Here's the thing. So I've had 2 of the Win ones. I've got a video you can go back from several years ago and watch. It's called King of the Bench Sanders. And my first one I had an old Emerson built rigid one. And then I got one of the Win knockoffs that's a little bit smaller. And there's a whole bunch of them. Triton makes one. Grizzly has one. There's a bunch of no names. And then Harbor Freight has one. They're all the same. The rigid one is slightly bigger, but the inside is identical, man. They're all the same. Just get the best one that A, it's easy to pick up for you. It's at the right price. And then if you have an issue, you can deal with it. Now, I understand that the Harbor Freight's got a 90-day warranty. A lot of people are like, well, I don't like the 90-day warranty. I'm like, well, your other option is the Win. That's WEN. You have to buy it online. And Win is known for, if you have a problem, we'll call you when hell freezes over. They have terrible customer service. The tools aren't bad, but the customer service is terrible. So it says it has a 1-year warranty, but no one's going to back it up. So what goes the warranty if there's no one behind it? Anyway, that said, I kind of got off on a tangent there. They're fantastic. Any one of them, the Win, the Grizzly, the Rigid, they're all great, and the Harbor Freight, they're all great. Just get whichever one's at the right price for you and that's easy to pick up. Because a lot of time the Rigid and the Win are out of stock because they send them over to the U.S. in shipments. And then once they sell through it, then they order a new one and it can take 6 months to get it. Not like bulk shipments. They don't send it like one at a time. Frank said, I heard that technical people can rebuild brushed tools. I don't say I can. I mean, they're not hard once you learn how to do it. They're dead simple, easy to rebuild. Dada Russ says, when you had it down to more, there was no glare.
That was from before.
Yes, I know. Mr. Doughboy says, hello, guys. Fred says, we should be negative 18 by then. Oh, my gosh. Oh,
Where?
Wyoming, here we come. Oh, in Colorado.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was... What was it today? Mid-60s? It's terrible.
It actually was. It was really warm.
Matthew says, are you going to use the same horrible DeWalt versus the brushless Hercules? In regards to what? Michael says saw blades, aka steel frisbees. Here, catch. What do you all? Luke says, what do you all recommend for a half-inch impact SAE and metric set? Love the channel. Depends on what level you're using this for. If you're using it for, occasional DIY use, if you're like a hardcore home gamer, or are you a pro, or are you like in a serious kind of professional shop, that's going to vary what you're looking at. If you're in the upper tiers, I'm going to say look at Tecton. Tecton's got some great prices. Also, Gray Pneumatic. If you're in the mid to lower tier, I would say Cobalt has a great set of impacts. That's the one I have. That's what I use. And then lower tier, the Harbor Freight stuff, the basic Pittsburgh. There are pros who've got the basic Pittsburgh impacts in their trays. Ask around. Some of them, if they're honest, they'll tell you, yeah, because you know what? They work. They got a lifetime warranty. What more do you want?
Just a reminder, we are a family-friendly channel, so no swearing. We also try to stay away from politics. There are other channels that do that, but not on this channel.
Yeah.
Also, Mater's Workshop said mid-60s. He says, I'm showing you, you're number one. We love you too, Mater. We really do.
Yep.
And we are not in charge of the Las Vegas weather. If it makes you feel any better, I'm going to be very cold.
She's always cold. Doesn't matter where she is. Unless she's hot. Then
I'm hot.
Cold. Yeah. Somebody said we were too young to be snowbirds. I'm like, no, I'm not. Clint said, I cracked up your I'm not a cat video. Oh, that, I gotta be honest, the original video with the lawyer, I'm here, Judge. I'm live, not a cat. Oh, I laughed until I cried over that. And the reason is, I've had that happen to me. This is years ago when I first started doing the whole bear thing. And it uses the webcam, so it kind of shows up like a filter in the same way. And I went onto Skype. It shows up as a virtual webcam to the software. And I went into Skype to have luckily it was an internal within my office business meeting. And I wasn't paying attention to my own window. And I was talking to other people, and they're like, is there a reason you're a bear? And I'm like, you mean on the channel? They're like, no, in the chat. And I look down, I'm like, oh.
Yep. Groovejet, hello. How is it in the UK? Are you all locked down? It's also like the middle of the night. I'm convinced you don't actually sleep. But thank you for joining us tonight. And happy Valentine's Day, although it's probably not Valentine's Day anymore for you.
Fred says, Bear, you said you can't go wrong with the Daytona Jack at Harbor Freight. No, you can't. That is for the price, it's a fantastic jack. Again, that's a place that pros use that jack. The tire and transmission shop in town in Livingston, you go in there and they have floor jacks everywhere, and half of them are Daytona and the other half are Napa. And I was asking them about it, and it was hilarious because these guys go through these jacks and they wear and tear. They're like, one of the guys said, I put more miles on my jack than most people put on their car. And they had a pile of them back in the corner. And I'm like, why do you have the pile back there? He goes, well, we use and abuse them. After about a year or two, they're dead. So we just chuck them. And I'm like, you do realize that Daytona's got a 3-year warranty. And I'm talking like 8 guys at once in the shop at this point, and they all stop and they all look at one dude. And he's like, how was I supposed to know?
Yeah.
I think I got somebody in a little bit of trouble on that one. Ghost Rider says, no, that's way more than we're used to. And Joey says, honest opinion on the Cobalt XTR power tools. I have not used them extensively myself, but I have used the regular Cobalt tools, and they're fantastic. And I know people who have the regular Cobalt tools, and they say the XTR are a complete generational step above those. So that's what I can tell you, is that everybody I've talked to, and it's quite a few, who have that tool, love them. In fact, I can tell you this, it's one of the few tools I've never heard anybody say, I bought it and I don't really like it. Not heard one person say that. I know I'm behind here. That's what happens around here because I give full-length answers. So, Toolhead says Hercules brush drill is very compatible to some brushless drills. Lots of power for an old brush tool. It is. It really is, and it's because of the engineering in the motor on it. Fred says I was surprised that we got any snow at all because it was so cold.
Yeah.
And Bear One says perfect for a ship in a bottle, right? That's one way to do it. Fred says, is Las Vegas Strip still dead? I'm glad to hear that. Don't want the U.S. to fail. It is Monday through Wednesday it's closed, right?
Yeah, it's pretty empty. Like the hotels, many of the hotels on the Strip are only open Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Some of them are just Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And some of the hotels are closed. They're just not open at all. The casinos are still open.
There's more stuff going on than there was before.
Absolutely.
It's starting to reopen.
It is a weird sight to see as somebody who's lived here and seen it in the hustle and bustle and normal.
Yeah.
Because it's just wall to wall people. It's amazing for people watching. If you like to people watch, like get a drink, just sit somewhere where you can see people on the Strip and you're
Fremont Street's great for that.
Fremont Street's kind of a train wreck, but the regular Strip is kind of a train wreck too. So really great people watching. We are here. We are open, but it's reduced.
My favorite people watching spot on the Strip is in front of Paris Hotel. Mm-hmm. There's one of the struts for the Eiffel. They have the mini Eiffel Tower up there. It's a half scale Eiffel Tower. Comes down and the foot of it is right there on the Strip. And right around the foot of the tower, there's a little fenced in area and there's a bar there. And you can sit, you can have a drink, you can sit at a table. You're right across from the Bellagio. You can watch the fountains. Mm-hmm. Tons of people walking right there. It's a great people watching area. Fake name Jones. Hey, he says, hey, Red, I missed some live chats. Did some time in the burn ward. I'm fine. But while I was there, 2 came in from starting fire with gas. So I'd like to warn others don't do that. I am really sorry to hear that. And then we are praying that that you'll be doing better. Burns are no joke. We were just talking about a relative of hers who has extensive entire body kind of burns situation.
And he's much older, and it was from using gasoline, and it was to burn brush.
Yeah.
And it just got out of control.
It gets away from you.
Yeah. And
it's not the gas. This is what people forget is it's not the gas so much, it's the vapors that's where it becomes really dangerous. Mm-hmm. Matthew says, new subscriber, so hard to choose a battery platform. I just went corded on everything because I can't make a decision. Apparently, any help for a new woodworker choosing platforms? Corded is not a bad idea. Okay? As I like to joke, the runtime on it is astounding compared to most battery platforms. In fact, I often tell people, routers, grinders, sanders, multi-tools. If you can, get a corded one. It's cheaper than cordless, and you won't run out of battery life. Now, that said, you got to look at what your budget is. And right now, basically what I say is if you're at low budget level, I say look at Bauer from Harbor Freight or Ryobi that's over at Home Depot. If you're in a mid-tier situation, Cobalt. That's just it, Cobalt. That's at Lowe's. It's made by Shervon. That's the same people who make Skill Saw, the Master Force over at Menards. Fantastic company. And then if you got the cash to spend, you're looking at Milwaukee or Makita. I guess you could do DeWalt. I'm against DeWalt because their battery prices are so expensive. And their customer service is so poor. Anyway, let's see here. Paperwork Ninja says, enjoy that Vegas weather. I missed going to Green Flag and Red Flag exercises at Nellis. Michael says, do the liquor stores deliver in Vegas? I don't know if they still deliver. They did during COVID.
Yeah, when were an essential business, let me tell you.
Bear One says, I found out that the new places we're moving to has a liquor store closed on Sunday practice.
Blue laws.
Yeah, blue laws can be rough. Anthony says, SKLP 90s Steals and Deals was well worth the money. I bought 2. Oh, that is. I got to tell you, that is one of the best deals going. It shows, not just that, okay, they have different ones, but about every other month they'll have one of their teardrop ratchets on there. And this last one was just a fantastic deal. It's, I don't know, that they used to have more stuff. I've noticed now that they're not having as much stuff out as often, maybe because too many people have caught on to it. But anyway, those are great ratchets, and that's a great deal. Javier says, even if I was launching a space shuttle, I'd use a Pittsburgh torque wrench. I might go for something a little higher end if I was on the space shuttle team. Fred says, I wish I knew what was going to happen with China. Yeah, well. Jason says, you mean Quinn torque adapter? That thing is awesome. Yes, that is exactly what I mean. For $35, it's hard to beat.
Michael, have a great night. He says he has to go. He can't stay late. He has an interview in the morning.
Chesney?
Awesome. Yep.
Oh, man, good job.
He says, miss the meth lab. Keep it sane, Mike. So I am thinking all kinds of good thoughts and prayers. Did the lights turn themselves up? I feel like we're brighter. So go rest. Have a great interview tomorrow, and we'll hear all about it.
Anthony says Nico makes a digital torque adapter as well. Also, Husky torque wrenches are good DIY wrenches. He's not wrong. They are. Looking for a decent cordless driver non-impact. Wow. That's a big range of things there. Again, it's like you got to look at what you're doing with it, how much money you've got to spend. The Ryobi's got some good ones. The whatchamacallit, I'll be right back. Okay. Bauer's got a good one. So I've got here the new Warrior 12 volt. I'm not going to include that in that list. So anyway, there's a lot of great options out there. Some not so great options. But I think in kind of the same place I was saying before, which is if you're looking at budget, you're at Bauer and Ryobi. They're about on par with each other. Basically what I say is if you go to Harbor Freight a lot, get the Bauer. If you go to Home Depot a lot, get the Ryobi. If you go to Lowe's, you have to spend more money and get the Cobalt because they don't have a good entry-level tool anymore. It used to be Black & Decker, but Black & Decker, the Matrix system is great, but you got to buy all the stuff that goes along with the Matrix system. Brian says, I used my 30% off today. Awesome. Jim says, torque wrench for my cars and motorcycles. Oh, look at her. There's Princess.
Hi.
How you doing?
Good. Guess what, Daddy?
What?
I killed the villagers raid captain, and now I have an achievement.
Really?
Yeah.
We've been playing Minecraft. If any of you play Minecraft and you want to play on our server, let me know. We'll see about sending you an invite. What?
We would love to play with you. Bye.
Anyway, torque wrenches for cars and motorcycles, man. Like you said, the Husky one's not bad. The digital torque adapters are a great. I almost call it a hack, but I don't know why more people don't use them, to be honest. I mean, if you're used to the click style and you like hearing that click, I get it, but there's other ways to do things. Mountain Man says, thanks for the tip on the Hart miter saw. I'm limited on space and funds, so I think it'll be perfect for now. Will it last through its 3-year warranty? Maybe a few cuts on a weekend? I think it should. It's made by TTI. That's the same guys who make Ryobi, who make Rigid, who make Milwaukee. It seems, I'm looking at it right now, so I'm looking off here. It seems really well built. As long as you don't abuse it. Remember, it's a 7 1/4 inch miter saw. If you constantly are cutting, 6-inch or 6-inch thick boards of the hardest hardwoods and aluminum you can find, and you're not giving it time to rest, yeah, it might not. But you know what? As I always say, like when it comes to cars, spend more, worry more about spending money on the tires than you do on the car. With saws, worry more about spending good money on the blade than you do on the saw itself. That's where the rubber meets the road, as they say. And by the way, I'm getting in the Warrior, the Harbor Freight Warrior 7 1/4 inch. I had a whole bunch of people ask me to compare it, so I'm going to get that in, and we're going to compare the Heart to the Warrior. Jason says, what drill would you recommend for a beginner apprentice starting out in the trades? Depends on the trades you're talking about. Like if you're an HVAC, you might want to save up and get like the Milwaukee 12 volt. A lot of the HVAC stuff is all Milwaukee, and a lot of it's in the M12 lineup. I'm a huge fan of Makita. You can't go wrong with Makita. Makita's got a 12 volt lineup as well. Not quite as specialized as the Milwaukee lineup is. But if you're on a budget, I would say look at Cobalt. I mean, it really punches above its weight class. Barry, you're sitting on the wrong side. Down to 20 degrees Fahrenheit tonight in Louisiana. Oh my gosh, the Gators are going to freeze.
Yeah.
No Nick says, Barry, you're sitting on. Oh, I just read that one. Ronald says, here in Florida, it is 86 degrees and sunny in the Upper Peninsula of Florida is getting submarine. What's the rest of Florida? It's nice and sunny and beautiful. John says, put the flowers on the bear cat. No, don't think so. Dave Kahn says, my 77-year-old dad who got Shopsmith secondhand years ago loved your video on Shopsmith. Keep up the great videos. Thank you very much. Tell him that we're glad that he watches.
Yeah.
And Fred says, Bear, there's a YouTube channel. I think it's called Meat Eaters. Unreal. You should see the bull moose and bull elk. They were the biggest on records. I have seen that channel. I watch it. The Cubs and I watch that a lot, actually. I think that's the one where he shot the bull moose and did not check if it was actually down, and he got a
surprise.
He got in the backside is what he got.
Yeah.
Dave Kuhn says you can get blue tarps at Dollar Tree.
I saw that. We are blurry. Please stop moving. We're super blurry. There we are. I heard that. I mean, I read that. I have yet to see them at our Dollar Tree, but I will keep my eyes out. Thank you for letting us know. And I don't know how to say your name. It's Yoni. Yoni? Do you know of any good work gloves for small hands? Everyone's trying to sell me pink gardening gloves, and that isn't what I'm after. My question is, when you say work gloves, define that. Like, are you talking like
mechanics
padded,
style,
like mechanics? So that would be my question, is clarify that.
Because I'm not the person to ask for that.
Yes, but the children and I are. West Main Auto Repair, $5 super chat, says, woo-hoo! Would mean the world to me if you checked my YouTube out, bro. Been watching you since I got out of the army and started my YouTube. Thanks a ton. Is your YouTube West Main Auto Repair? What is your YouTube channel? That's my question. So thank you for the super chat. We will check it out. 3, 2, 1. It's stuck in there.
Life's hard sometimes, isn't it?
It is hard. I left my little thingy. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. And I think we are in the process of trying to check out your channel. I think it's West Main Auto Repair.
I just found it. And I thought I was subscribed.
Well, we all know how that goes.
I was pretty sure one of the other guys on the channel told me about it. But I am now. I am subscribed now. And I'll even ring the bell.
Thank you so much.
Because honestly, somebody else told me about your channel. One of the other guys who watches my channel. So I should check it out. So.
Yeah.
The Jim says, I've been recommending the Gear Wrench electronic angle torque wrenches as they do everything, and many places have them now, so prices are also good. And Danny says, do you have any experience with the Poulin Pro chainsaw at Harbor Freight sales? I've never seen a coupon for it on sale once. I have seen it, but it's very occasional, and I've never used it. And I am completely anti-gas when it comes to lawn and garden kind of stuff. Back in the day, let me back up. I got an electric mower about 6 years ago, and it rocked my world. All right, it was when you can just press the button and have it start every time, no matter what. It's a life changer. So yeah, I don't even bother with gas stuff anymore.
Yoni responded about the kind of gloves. Says mechanic style and or dipped cut protection gloves. So that's the one that's like rubberized, right? They're like regular gloves, but they're kind of sticky.
How about this? If anybody has a solution where you can get smaller sizes for those, please post in the comment. In fact, like you do for me, if you do @DennaTools, if you do @ his name or her name, it will it'll show up to them the same way. In fact, you can do that to each other if you're trying to get somebody else's attention, and that way it pops up as a big orange blurb, and they know they're talking to you.
Brian Rose answered that question, so Yoni, check out Brian Rose's response, but did @DennaTools. So yeah.
SR says, I've been wanting to buy a jaw horse. When is a good time to buy one since there's no more coupons at Harbor Freight? Well, the coupon... What was that?
That was me moving my phone.
Honestly, this time of year, it's probably better to go over to Lowe's and look at the actual jaw horse rather than the Franklin version, because they have a tendency to clear those out after Christmas. And you can often find them in the $80 to $90 range on store shelves. They won't advertise the price. You'll have to go in and take a look at it. But that's your best bet.
The Lake Commander, I think you've repeated this question a number of times about, do you have any suggestions for a plasma cutter? Or maybe somebody's asked the plasma cutter question. We're just behind. Totally not ignoring you. We will get to your questions. Thank you.
I can say no, I don't have any recommendations for a plasma cutter. I wish I did. I wish I had a plasma cutter. I don't have a plasma cutter. I've talked about getting one and just a space, and you got to be careful when you're working with hot metal welding, especially plasma, because the sparking and stuff. When you have that kind of shop in the same shop that does woodworking and stuff like that, because fire. And so I have not had two separate areas where I could set stuff up like that. So I don't have one, but if anyone has a recommendation, you can throw it out there. I've heard good things. I think Justin Dow's got the Titan one from Harbor Freight, so you can check out his videos on it. Michael says, working on a fun project. I know those 12 boxes of soda cans we can buy at the market. In the fridge, they tend to be flat and must be tipped to roll the cans out.
Basically like a wedge. Like, think of like a, what do you call them? Like a shim.
Did he send you a picture or something?
No, I don't think so.
Well, he does a lot of 3D printing stuff, so that's why I asked.
I think he was working on it. He hasn't sent a picture yet.
Fred says, on the meat eater, he shot a bull moose. I know the shoulder was over 6 feet. He shot the bull moose, thought it was dead. Yep, that was the one where, nope. No, it's not dead. Luckily, his buddy had drawn down on it to cover him as he went in. And the moose came out, and his buddy hit him. I think it was the Tika in 3... Might have been 6... No, it wasn't 6. It had to be 308. Anyway, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure it was a Tika rifle. Anyway, I know you guys don't care about that. Making a little wedge to hold the back of the 12. That is a good idea. I like that. And he's printing it now. Mm-hmm. Mike says, hey, y'all, listen in while cleaning my old broomsticks. Montgomery Ward 12-gauge pump. Those things are... I know a lot of snobs would be like, those, I love those things. Savage 12-gauge semi and a Stevens 311 12-gauge side-by-side. Oh, I would kill. It's always one of the things we say, like, oh, I must sell this because I'll never use it. Well, I had a sweet little French 20-gauge side-by-side with the English-style stock. I still, to this day, regret selling that thing. That was the favorite one I've ever owned. If I could find something like that, I would be a happy man again. Fred Hill says,
John's.
True love is a woman who will shave your back without complaining.
Someone else said, true love is a woman who doesn't complain about how much you spend on tools.
My wife's just like, did you get a receipt?
Yeah. I'm like, were you able to use a coupon?
Yeah.
Did you get a receipt?
And Fred says coupons went the way of catalogs. Yep, it was only a matter of time.
Yeah.
The Pawn says Bauer heat gun works great to defrost car door locks. That's a great idea. I used to have to carry around freaking lighter, even though I never smoked, so I could heat up my keys to melt the lock. I did that a lot back in the day. Oh, for a hot second there, I thought I was caught up. I was so pleased with myself.
I love you.
Oh my gosh, I'm
Also
way
top of the
behind.
hour.
I got to catch up real quick because, so we're going to push it off a little bit. Remember, don't cross the streams. Jim says, is Vegas open and working or just kind of? Just kind of. We're about 40% operational. Paperwork Ninja says, I got your notification on my phone this evening as the show started, so I guess it's working now. Yes. Backwood says, my father introduced me to Harbor Freight back in 78. I still have the drill index from them. At what time they would place the bits for free. It was ordered from LA. We were in Virginia. Scott says, I just made some yummy chocolate. We read that one. David says, with printing companies going out of business, the ones still in business have raised their prices because of less competition. Well, there is that. Yeah. And probably higher costs all the way around.
Yeah, I would think higher costs. I think most...
Which is why the other ones went out of business, probably. Yeah. Mater says, I finally got a notice of you being on. Hello from frozen North Texas. Wang Chung says, hey guys, my mobile table saw has an aluminum top. Is there any way I can clean, wax, or otherwise service it? With aluminum, you really just have to keep it clean. Any good like 409 or something like degreasing kind of stuff will work. I guess you could wax it with a carnauba wax or something like that. Typically, they have an epoxy finish on it, unless you have the old school bare ones, in which case, yeah, probably like a carnauba wax might work on it. Although what I used to do was I'd just spray them with polycoat. But that was not aluminum ones. That was steel ones. What drill would you recommend for a beginner? One that has both a forward and reverse. For a beginner, a corded, just your basic corded drill to get started, man. Just go to a garage sale, grab something cheap, and get started there. If you're looking for cordless, I often recommend Bauer at Harbor Freight or Ryobi at Home Depot. Trent says Solid Axle wins King of Hammers again last week. I forgot all about King of the Hammers. I wanted to watch that. Scott says, Mrs. Bear, I have a few tricks. My mom was one of the best bakers on the planet. She was from Pennsylvania Dutch, if that says anything.
Yep.
And Ed C. Says, is the way of sitting permanent? I'm not going to get used to you guys reversed. Are you in Vegas for good now? We're in Vegas for 2 or 3 months. Then we'll be back in Montana. We'll be back on the right side when we get back to Montana. Jim says, any chance Harbor Freight is going to introduce an upgraded dust collector anytime soon? There's a chance, but I haven't heard anything about it. But, it'd be cool to see that. David says, went to Harbor Freight to get a new top for my U.S. General 72-inch, and the store told me I need to buy the new 2-year protection plan, return my box, and wait 3 to 6 months to get a new box. Is there better? They told you what? David, I've never heard such a thing. Tell you what, email me red@denatools.com and we'll chat about that. There's no way they should be telling you that sort of stuff if all that is true. Fred says, can you believe that they want to control broomsticks older than 1898? Yeah, I can believe it. We got 3D printers throwing them out left and right, but yeah, let's control those. Spade says, thanks for your elaborate answer. God bless you and yours. Happy Valentine's Day. Liked and subbed and continue to tune in. Thank you, Mr. Ace. We appreciate you being here. Lake Commander says, any opinions on what... Well, that's one we don't know. Mater says, mid-60s, I'm showing your number one.
Yep.
Torque wrench for my car's motorcycle. We talked about that one. Groovejet says, evening. I know I'm way behind. I'm trying to catch up. Javier says, I was going through my father's old tools from the 90s. His old Craftsman ratchets just feel much more comfortable than my new ones. Yeah, they do. The polish on the new ones is just not there. Isaiah says, what's the biggest wrench set for not much money? That's a good question. I mean, it depends on what quality you want. Yeah, you can get a Pittsburgh wrench set, a nice good size one for cheap, but the quality is going to be kind of iffy. Again, I'm going to probably say Cobalt is going to be your best mix for prosumer level kind of stuff. There's a bunch of others. It depends. You got to follow the deals of the week. That's what you got to do. You got to follow the deals of the week. And stuff like that pops up from time to time because it really depends on who's having the best sale price. Trent says Sunix impact sockets are top notch. They're the go-to for cat technicians. Patrick Kelly says, do you have any cool cars? Not right now. I sold my last cool car about a year and a half, 2 years ago. I had an 81 what do you call it? Cadillac Eldorado Ritz, red with the white leather top and the red leather interior. Man, that thing was beautiful, but just didn't have space for it, so I sold it. I've been talking to her. I want to get something else, but kind of on hold right now. What's the biggest? Oh, we talked about that. Fred Hill says the Daytona Jack weighs about half the standard Jack, not the Daytonas. The aluminum racing jacks weigh less. The Daytona weighs a ton. Jose says, any info on the Makita 40 volt and should I make the jump? No, I've been meaning to do more research and find out what's coming out with I know they did this whole big thing about all the new 40 volts coming out, and I should spend more time looking at that. But with the move down here and the whole thing going on with Harbor, because that news just got released, I think, beginning of February or something like that. I've just been out of a lot of that, and I need to get back into it. So sorry, I don't have an answer for you right now. Or should I make the jump to or Milwaukee or stay Makita as an HVAC tech? As an HVAC tech, I mean, I don't have any information on the new stuff, but I know most of my HVAC techs on here are Milwaukee guys. And that's what I can tell you. And they love it. They absolutely love it. And I'm a huge Makita fan telling you this, all right? And Sam says, Bear Family just got a new job. Woo! Started last week. I'm back on airplane so far. My coworkers are awesome too. That is fantastic. Congratulations. Lake Commander says, what's your opinion on reasonably priced plasma cutters? I don't know. Clint says, I love Harbor Freight's Apache waterproof cases. Good choice of color. I love the new colors. That bright orange one they've got, that is fantastic. Groove just says, do you believe in UFOs and unexplained? LOL. There seems to be a lot of it in the USA. I do. Why not? Trent says, Makita sucks. Total breakage during the cold. I can only imagine. Trent's not a fan of Makita, in case you noticed. Fred says, that's sad. They have to be bleeding red ink I've eaten there. Yeah, probably. Anthony says, there's lots of plasma cutters worth the investment. I'm regulated to 110 at home and the shop till the 220 gets fixed. And that's also what's kind of held me off, is that trying to get 220 set up is... I've been wanting to get 220, but we have a really old house in Montana, and I don't have the room for it here in Vegas. So I got to get a new setup for the wiring in Montana. Russell says, the Harbor Freight planer is hot garbage. Been through 2 of them. Avoid the roller feedback bars are trash. Got my money back and bought the DeWalt. All right. I will say this. You're the first person who's told me that. But I always like to get more feedback, and I'll be honest now, I can tell people I know at least one person who did not like him, and he had 2 of them. Go ahead.
West Main Auto Repair, $5 super chat. Thank you so much. Says, keep it up, man. Would love to collaborate and talk tools in the future. Grab a tea on me. My 2-year-old loves your bear animation, by the way. So, super glad that you and your 2-year-old can watch together. 3, 2, 1. Thank you so much. This feels weird backwards.
Matt says, nice score on the Hart miter saw. If you're mainly cutting 2x4s, do you need more than 7 1/4? I don't have one. Do you need a compound miter saw, etc.? You know, honestly, if you saw that the last board I cut was 9 inches wide. If you line it up, you can do the double flip cut on it. It works just fine. And if you're in a small shop setup, it'll work. So you don't need, I mean, it's even, you can cut 2x6s with it. You can cut 2x8s. It's just a case of using the tool correctly, lining things up, taking your time, measure twice, cut maybe 3 or 4 times. You know, cut close, you know, grind to, or sand to finish. It can get the job done. There's too many people put too much emphasis on getting the best tool. And I really believe the best tool is the one that you can use and learn to use properly, and get the job done with. And if all you can afford, or all you have the space for, or all you really need is something like that, then be happy with it. Use it. Fred says, you're so right with gasoline. It's the vapors. When you open the gas can, you pour it, you can see the vapors hugging the ground. Yeah, they're the dangerous part. You can take a freshly poured can of gas, pour it into a bucket, and as long as there's not warm and there's vapors everywhere, you can throw a lighted match onto it. I'm not saying that you should.
Don't do that.
But if you do it quick enough, it'll just snuff out in the gas. It's the vapors that explode. Michael says, have an interview this morning. Oh, that's when we talked about. Yeah. Patrick says, do you have any dream cars? Dream cars? I've got all sorts of dream cars. Are you kidding? Some people ask me, like, what would be my favorite car? As like a personal daily driver, I'd really like, I used to say it would be like a dually, like a Ram, the Longhorn, but honestly, the dually's a bit of a big fat back end on it, probably 2,500. I'm a big guy. I like sitting upright. You know, I love the old Cadillacs. I love cruise, especially when you're down here in Vegas. I mean, I gotta tell you, when I had my 81 Cadillac Baritz, it was awesome because I'd take the missus and we'd go down cruising the strip, and we'd go to one of the casinos, and you pull up to valet and you get out and you throw the guy $20. And the first time, the guy's like, would you like me to keep it up top? And what that means is, rather than taking it, putting it all the way back in the parking garage where who knows what can happen to it, there's usually a row of like the fancy cars. You'll see the Bentleys and the Lambos and the high-end Mercedes and all the, you know, the big player cars out front. And I'm like, yeah, that would be nice. And when you come back out and you see that line of, you know, $500,000 cars all the way down, and then there's your 80 Caddy sitting right there. It looks kind of cool. And we got all sorts of attention driving down the strip. You know, people in limos rolling down the window and leaning out and screaming and stuff. They love that look. But, you know, I love muscle cars and stuff like that too. The old Mach 1. But, you know, as you get older, it's like, I don't know if I need to go fast. Just going in style is more fun. The Scorpion Sunday says, I'm going to get going myself. I have to be up at 2 a.m. for work. You have a good one. Thanks for stopping by. K. White says, is the DeWalt DWE 7485 a good first table saw? It is a compact job site saw. Unless you need a compact job site saw, which means you need a first table saw for hauling to and from a job site easily, or you have incredibly limited space in your shop, then no. I will always tell people, you want to buy the biggest table saw that you can actually and reasonably use in your shop. Now, some people don't have the size or the size shop for a full-size table saw, and that's why they get a job site saw. Well, in that case, get one like the Rigid that I talked about the other day that's on the rolling stand and everything. It's got a nice big table on it, or the Metabo HPT or something like that. Something that's got as big a table as you can get, that's as sturdy as you can get, that's got as good a fence as you can get. The Harbor Freight, the Hercules, the DeWalt, any of those compact table saws. I know they're inexpensive and they're tempting, but they're really just made for ripping 2x4s and 2x6s. That's all they're designed for. The Fred says, look on YouTube about the 1917 shark attack off the coast of Jersey, and the shark also went inland and killed a boy and a young man. 5 never happening again. That's the one that Jaws is based on, wasn't it? And Simon says, I do enjoy playing Minecraft. Well, send me an email. We'll send you an invite. Fred Hill says, the Matrix system is that the blue pill or the red pill? Nice. Orbital Air says, also, Ryobi Home Depot has a summer sale each year. Oh, they do. The Ryobi Days, right around January, August. Huge sale. Buy batteries, get a tool for free. Daughter or Rod would be interested in that Minecraft server. I'm sure Eleanor will get you hooked up on that. What do you think of gearless ratchets? I've never used gearless ratchets. I recently got turned on to gearless ratcheting screwdrivers, and I like them. I've not used them, so I can't really say. The Greg says, I like my Ryobi, got them because we live almost next to Home Depot. That's a great reason for it. Young says, do you know of any good... we talked about that. Anthony says, the best torque wrenches for cars and motorcycle work would be the new digital gear wrench ones. They have all the pro level stuff of Snap-on for half the cost. Lake Commander says, what's your opinion on reasonably... Does the Delta 3672 50T2 table saw ever go on sale at Lowe's or ever see a discount coupon for it? All right. Here's the deal with this. So it's the same as with the original version. It does not go on sale very often. When it does, currently the price I think is $600. It goes on sale for like $550. You can find coupons for whatchamacallit, for Lowe's. They'll take 10% off of any item. You usually get them like when you've moved into a new neighborhood or something like that. You'll have to do some scrounging and some searching to find one. You do that, you get that. Then here's what you do. You go to places like Gift Card Granny or something like that, and you buy used gift cards. All right? And you buy that using a credit card, not used gift cards, but unused gift cards. You buy it using a credit card that gives you cash back. So the cash back's going to give you like 1 or 2%. You're going to save like 1 or 2% on the gift cards. You're going to save 10% with the coupon, and then you got the sale taking it down another $50 on top of that. And at that point, you can get it down to almost $500 if you really work it. So that's the only way to really get a killer deal on that saw. But it is a fantastic saw. Really? Mm-hmm. John says, any chance of a IT channel? None. We have the Bear's Den, which is the other channel. We do talk tech and gadgets and stuff on there. I am going to be doing a video comparing. She has... Are you wearing them? No. She has actual legit Apple AirPods. Right. I've got the gas station $20 knockoffs. And then I've got the flea market actual, illegal knockoffs of the pros. So I'm going to be doing a comparison on that probably next week.
For me.
I'm trying to have a show here. Do you mind? Is it okay with you?
Did you read the super chat?
I didn't see it. Been drinking much?
Just a little bit. Just a nip. $5 super chat says, I think Harbor Freight should just offer 2 options when it comes to tool, like good and best. What's your opinion about it? 3, 2, 1. I don't know why I feel like they need to see the thing while I'm ringing it, but I do. Anyways.
I like the good, better, best. I think that in most cases, for most people, they like those 3 different levels. There's people who want the top level stuff. There's people who can't afford it, and there's people in the middle. And I don't think it's right to split the difference in the middle. One thing I do wish they would do is I wish they would have just used the same brands across all lines. The Bauer and the Hercules should have been the name for everything that's high end. Having all these different brands in there is ridiculous. I wish they'd shared the same battery across all lines. There's a lot of things I wish they'd done. Fry says, why don't they sell 3/8 fittings for 3/8 air hoses? Harbor Freight sells 1/5 fittings for 1/5 hoses. I don't know. I never thought about it. Arthur says, just joined. What did I miss? The secret to life, the universe, and everything. Also, we gave away free money. And she's got the hiccups.
Yeah.
Free money. Let's see here. Where'd it go? Fred says, I remember right after he ran like heck, he turned around and the moose dropped dead. I would have to change my clothes. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we totally thought that.
I would have died of a heart attack right there when that moose moved.
Yep.
Which is amazing because I was always taught you never approach the animal without your firearm raised. Right? Because you don't know when they're going to suddenly kick back or something. And the fact he walked up on without one in the chamber, oh my gosh. Patrick says, any good tools, equipment for good deals at Harbor Freight for mechanics. Dude, there's tons of them. Are you kidding?
Just open the doors. They're there.
We talk about all sorts of stuff that people, I mean, that's kind of what we got started with the channel, is finding all the diamonds in the rough that people use. The U.S. General toolboxes. You know, a lot of people like to say, oh, no, pros don't use that. I post pictures to the channel all the time to the community section. I love posting it where, the pros don't shop at Harbor Freight. I just posted one of a U.S. General cabinet the other day at a, mechanic shop, and it was the main, the guy's main cabinet. He's like, it's a box I put my tools in. I don't need to spend Snap-on money. He's been doing this for 20 years. The impact sockets, that's a great one. That's the breaker bars, that's a great one. The Harbor Freight, the what do you call it? The Pittsburgh breaker bar is one of the well-known, like every mechanic I know who has, half a brain, is going to spend, the $15 on that versus the $100 on the Snap-on. There's a ton of the Doyle wrenches and or pliers and stuff like that. Lots of great stuff there.
Thanks, Paperwork Ninja. He just tried to scare me.
Greg says, when will Hercules come out with brushless? You mean more brushless? Because they had one brushless tool out. They had the grinder. That came out last summer, I think. They just came out with the oscillating multi-tool. And they got more stuff coming out. Richard says, it is cold in Texas, too. Derek says, Makita makes some pretty good tools. They're quite accurate. I'm a big fan of them. The Paul says you may enjoy Junkyard Dig's YouTube channel as well. I'll take a look at those or at that. Clint says Heart gloves at Walmart are good quality for the money. Fred says does MIG and TIG look the same? Not usually. Anytime you look on Instagram, you see Instagram welders where they got the beautiful rainbow. That's all TIG. TIG is where they talk like the stacked dimes. You can really control that. MIG is, there are guys out there who can do really good MIG stuff. But basic MIG, not the really high end where they're using, there's some really high end stuff out there. The basic stuff that you see around in most shops and whatnot is essentially the hot glue gun of the welding world. And it's fabulous for that because it's that easy to use. Lake Commander says, thank you and sorry for so many repeats. Gary says, my Snap-on dealer sucks. He scammed me bad. Put stuff on my bill I didn't order, messed up my credit. I'm pissed. Meeting with my Matco dealer Wednesday to trade in the Snap-on boxes. And I was talking about the shop that I was at in Livingston where I was talking to the guy. And the guy's like, look, we used to have a Snap-on dealer come around here. We bought a bunch of stuff. Then nobody needed anything. He left and never came back. He's like, I got a pile of broken Snap-on tools. I need to get replaced, but I can't because the dealer won't come back. That's the thing is they will frequent a shop as long as people are buying. And then once everyone's bought all the tools they need and they can't sell any more tools, they leave and they don't come back to that shop. Good luck. West Main Auto Repair says, I have Pittsburgh Pro coupons for ratchets that has no expiry date. Good luck problem is trying to use them because they're not going to be in the system anymore. And then you got to argue with the person there. And that's never a winning situation. Chris says, I'm all in on the DeWalt 18 volt system and my batteries are near end of life. Do I buy third party or go with the 20 volt adapter from DeWalt? Man, that's a hard one. I would probably buy the third-party batteries because that adapter, it's not the biggest thing in the world, but those batteries are already big. The tool's already big. You're adding another 1.5 inches, 2 inches onto that. And it doesn't seem like much, but the guys I've talked to really don't like it. So my suggestion is you're already trying to extend the life and the value there. just get good third-party batteries. Jeff says, "Oh, good to know. I was just about to paste in my question again." Idiocracy in here. He says, "I have 2 plasma cutters. I have a Latos, and I really like it. I recently bought the titanium plasma cutter from Harbor Freight for my CNC plasma table. It's pretty dang nice for the price." And Greg says, "Oh, we talked about the brushless. We're not that far behind. Look, I'm catching up." Jim says, if I believe the article locally, the last Sears in Virginia is closing. Yeah, it's not long now, is it? I miss going to Sears.
Yeah.
I hear the 270 is a great broomstick. It's a good beginner one. Actually, no, I take that back. I was thinking about the 243. The 270 is a fantastic one. If I believe okay, we read that. Do you know of a good source for replacement trigger switch for a 1960s era Craftsman half-inch drill? Mine came apart while changing the power cord.
I saw that. Sounds...
No, I don't. I don't know what trigger they used.
Oh, where are you? Oh. Chad did not do at the Den of didn't show up Den of Tools. He says, "Got a new puppy. It's a silver lab.
Ooh.
I now understand why you call your dog a meth lab." Yep.
I love silver labs. They're beautiful.
Yep. Bella's crazy. I love her. Crazy.
Jim Farmer says, "Can you test the Hart miter saw with a steel cutting blade?" You know, that's a great idea. I should do that. I've got a nice piece of angle iron over there, just asking to be cut. Fred says, in March I got my first coronavirus injection, and the second is in April. Let us know how it goes. We had some family members who got it recently, and it did not sit well with them.
Yep.
Richard Elliott says, "All of Texas is frozen." Yeah. Oh, they must be at a loss for words down there, and they have no idea what to do.
I heard that, actually, I think our girlfriend is there. I think she is stuck there. I think her flight got canceled.
Our girlfriend, huh? This is a new...
Christina Marie.
Oh, that's right. We're supposed to have lunch with her when she got back.
Right. Yeah.
Richard says, "Oh, well, we just read that." Isaac says, "The future of Harbor Freight will be membership only." Oh my gosh, really? The people spreading this kind of FUD, man. Drama llamas left and right. Fun says, "The Lotus LTP 5000D 50 amp is a good, decent price plasma cutter. 110, 220 compatible." I gotta tell you, you would be amazed how many companies make plasma cutters. I was at the National Hardware Show 2 years ago, and there was an entire aisle that must have been nothing but just stacks, 10 by 10 booths, stacked with nothing but plasma cutters. And they'll sell you in any configuration you want and rebrand it however you like. If you want to get in the plasma cutting business right now, I can hook you up with a dozen different people. Speaking of which, they contacted me, and their show is scheduled for October this year.
Cool.
So fingers crossed there'll be a show.
You're coming in October?
Yeah. Frank says, "I don't miss the Harbor Freight coupons. I needed a magnifying glass to read the expiration date or any of the information on it."
Yes. Is it Isaac 100? ISSC. Isaac 100? $5 super chat. 5 years from now, you think Harbor Freight will have any major changes? Tool, names, and quality? Thanks a bunch. 3, 2, 1. Thank you.
Yeah, I think they'll have major changes. They're making major changes now. If you think about Harbor Freight 5 years ago, when I first started this channel, they had just released, because I can still remember doing the video where we found out there was going to be a Bauer planer. And I was making the joke that it was funny they called it Bauer, because for me, Bauer will always be ice skates, hockey skates, because I played hockey when I was little. And it was funny because a planer, that kind of takes long blades that look like the blades on an ice skate. I'm like, is somebody trying to make a bad joke here or something? And that was the first hint of this whole good, better, best kind of thing. And here we are 5 years later, and the Bauer line is huge. They're competing with all the other entry to mid-priced tool lines. And they've got Hercules they're trying to come out with to get into the upper level, like the Cobalt and thereabout kind of lines. and even the lower end DeWalt kind of stuff. And I think that in 5 years, we'll see them expand more into these higher end kind of tool lines. Why? There's more money there. There really is. You can sell one item and make as much money off of one item as you can selling 10 of the middle price or 100 of the low price.
Right. Mike C with a $5 super chat, and it's LSSC. I don't know what that is. Mike, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. 3, 2, 1. Thank you.
PT says, if you don't have wax for a tabletop, get some, slip it, and give it a coat. Bart says, my girlfriend doesn't understand that the tools I buy are an investment and a way to make more money. I buy most of my tools in great shape, used, and they hold their value. That is, if you can do that, and you can find it, that is an excellent way to do it.
And as far as the girlfriend not understanding, I would say sometimes it's a case where your girlfriend just doesn't want you to spend money. Sometimes it's a case that they really don't understand it. So
get them involved.
Have a conversation, get them involved. But I think a lot of times in situations like that, I know for you and I, it's simply that I have one idea and you have another idea, and we just haven't had a conversation about it. And when we have a conversation about it, then...
More like you have one idea and I'm right. Anyway, moving on.
That one's my Valentine.
Yeah. Michael says, enjoy your vids. New to woodworking. Question. What table saw on a budget? Keep up the good work. Budget table saws. I'm going to say that looking on Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, trying to find a good table saw used. In fact, I did a 4-part video on table saws. You can go back and watch several years ago. And I think I paid $250 for the Delta one, but that's when you're gonna have to really. It took me a year and a half to just sitting there and haunting Craigslist to find that. But you can get like the older rigids in that $200 price range. Pretty much every other month, you can get a really good quality one, and that's a good saw. Sometimes you find a Craftsman about the same age. They're usually made by the same kind of, maybe by Emerson, if I say that correctly. The Owl says, been working for 3 months to get my Harbor Freight ITC Club membership straightened out. Still a mess. Have you heard of this before? No, I haven't. But you know what? Anytime technology is involved, something can get screwed up. A Bear says, I'm looking for a benchtop planer. Any recommendations? Well, normally I would recommend the Harbor Freight Bauer planer because when it's on sale, it's the best price one out there. But we just had somebody here tonight. He said he had it and he did not care for it. So that's one no vote. I'm going to have to look around, and there was somebody talking recently about a good benchtop planer they got that was in a reasonable price. And the Win has a good one. That's WEN. You'd find it on Amazon, stuff like that. Have you heard about Tang tools? I have. Lots of people ask me about them. I've talked to the guys at Tang. I've never actually seen their tools or used them, so I can't really speak much about it. I've heard some people say they like them. That's about all I've heard. Patrick says, I've seen gloves in all sizes at Harbor Freight, online, also at Menards, both in store and online. If there is a Menards near you, I would try that first. That's not a bad idea. Fred says, did you see that Truckee got 7 feet of snow dumped on it? And that's why the Donner Party had to stop there.
Yeah.
Highway 1 dropped a quarter-mile section of the highway. Oh, that seems to happen all the time. It does happen frequently. We saw that happen fairly often when we lived over there.
So what happened?
Highway 1 along the ocean.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And I did have to double check that Fred Hill was not perhaps drinking when he wrote that, but they really did get that much snow. Apparently twice they've gotten 10 feet of snow.
Oh.
Like in the history of Truckee.
Allie says, what would be the best paint guns out? Oh, I don't know. I've been out of the paint business, like you're talking like auto paint kind of stuff, for a long time. By the way, did you see the new Harbor Freight multi? Yeah, I did see that. I haven't got my hands on it, but I did see it. Did anything come about those cat graphene? Not much. What I heard was basically most people, the consensus was it's snake oil kind of stuff where they're just putting graphene caps on batteries that are already there and calling them graphene batteries, and they're not really graphene batteries. So it is what it is. Let's see here. Do Alex says, Ironworker Doug asks, 4.5-inch grinder for wet concrete. What's a good one? They're all so much. For wet, I don't do concrete work. Almost never. I probably should. I know we were talking about doing some up at the house.
Yeah.
But I finally got her convinced that I can put concrete in on the side yard.
What? It's new information.
Yeah. Anyway, but I don't know. I don't use grinders on concrete. 4.5-inch. I mean, I can tell you that DeWalt makes a fantastic grinder. Makita makes a great grinder. Bosch makes a good grinder. Does it? Bosch, DeWalt, Makita. I think that's probably the top 3 that I would recommend. But I've never used any of those on cement, so I can't really say.
Can you see that setup?
Is that Steve? Mm-hmm. Of course it is, because the race is going on in the corner. Cowgal says, Happy Valentine's Day to you both. Do you think Harbor Freight will ever come out with a battery-operated miter saw? I don't think I know. And the answer is...
unless we're in Bulgaria.
What? Nice. Fred says, tell the oldest cub that the F-117 is flying around Vegas. Nels, is that what I heard something today? And I'm like, oh, it must be the what do you call it? The Eagles flying around. And but I will have to let them know I'd like to see that. That would be cool. They're still at Tenapon. They're still testing the weapons platform. Keep an eye out for them. I will. Homily says, I've been through 3 of the Hercules spotlights in a month. They will work for a couple days and cut themselves off after 10 to 15 minutes. It's a nice light when it works. Well, that's not a very good light at all, is it?
No.
You've been through 3 of them? Wow, I'm going to have to reach out to my boys over at Harbor Freight, see what they say about that, because that's not a good sign.
No. And I know you're probably using it for projects at your house where you kind of need the lights to be on.
Yeti says, the free Harbor Freight bucket coupon didn't work. They said there was nothing in the computer system for it. That's the point where you ask the manager and tell him that he needs to honor this. Kindly and with respect, but they need to honor it. They can't pull that, oh, we got you in the store with this coupon and whoopsies. No, that's not legal. And it's not, and you know what's better? Forget whether it's legal. It's not ethical.
Yeah.
And here's the word to use. Fair. Do you think it's fair that I came in the store because of an advertisement you sent to me and you're going to say that it's not, it's not in the system, I'm not going to honor it?
Right.
Is that fair to your customers? Is that what you think Harbor Freight Corporate wants to represent? And then, if he still doesn't do it, tell him to barrel growl at him. The Yeti said the free Harbor Freight... I just read that. Tesh says, I have an 81 Ford Thunderbird. It's the bird time. That'd be cool. I'd like to see that. I like the old Thunderbirds, man. Gary says, a prayer for the family of the pedestrian that got it on my way to get my trailer. State just let me after I turned my dash cam in my statement. Not a good start for the week. Oh my gosh. I am so
sorry. I read that, and I've read that a few times. So I am so sorry to hear that, and we will definitely be praying for their family and for you. And super glad that you had a dash cam.
Yes.
We are super, super big proponents of dash cams. We have used them a number of times.
Yeah, you want to watch a great YouTube channel, watch Tesla Cam.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's hilarious. Fred says, when I know I've made it is when I stay where the whales stay. The suites on the top floors that run $35,000 a night. Oh, yeah.
Whoa.
Mater's Workshop says, I can see you and the missus pulling up to a valet on a Harley Tri-Glide. I would love that. That would be awesome. And Matthew says, is the saw stop worth it? If so, should I wait until the patent start expiring in August of this year? I wish I could tell you. It's worth it. They're great saws. I wish I could tell you to wait and that prices are going to drop. But saw stop is they're going to go to the courts and say they're going to put forth a sob story to the courts and say that there's cause to extend their patents. Now, even if there isn't, the court system's going to stretch it out for probably another 6 months. So it's probably going to be 6 months to a year past when their patents are supposed to expire at this point. So I would say, but I know Bosch is sitting there waiting for their patents to expire because they're still selling the cartridges on the saw that they made them stop selling. They're ready to put this out. A bunch of other companies are ready to start out with it, so it's going to happen. Steven says, Jesse with the hiccups, look out.
Yeah.
Don Macronol says, howdy, Dent Tools. Jeff says, is there a router stand that has a base that will fit directly onto the Delta table saw? There is, and I don't remember what it is. There is a Facebook group for that table saw, specifically for that table saw. If you take that part number and you put it into Facebook and find that Facebook group, you'll hear people talking about it. It fits like a glove. It's almost like it was made directly for it. So, yes, there is. I don't remember which one it is. Sorry. Paperwork Ninja says, booga booga, trying to scare the hiccups out of the misses.
It worked. I stopped hiccuping. You're a genius.
I do that with the kids all the time, and they shout, Daddy!
He does it to me, too. And it's like, I know it's coming, but I still get scared.
Here's the question. Does it work?
Yes.
It does work. Paul says, what company set of vice grips would you recommend? I've always liked the actual vice grips. Irwin now sells those. The new ones from Harbor Freight, not the standard Pittsburgh ones, but the new, it starts with a B or something. I can't remember the brand they have, but the more expensive ones they have, I've heard they're not bad. They look good. But Irwin are my favorite ones. Trillion for Dollar says, it's the bottom of the hour. Oh, I know I'm completely behind. We got way behind today. Sorry about that. We had a bunch of people pile in because the video didn't get propagated out last week. So, yeah. The Mike says, went to Harbor Freight today for some fire extinguishers, picked up a bunch of smalls as well. When I used my ITC card, the cashier gave me 30% off everything, way over 5 items. Yeah, I've heard that too. I don't often put it in the video, but that's pretty much par for the course, which is just makes it that much more valuable. Mike C says, when you're up in Montana, do you ever look up at the dark sky, and do you have a telescope? We did have a telescope. I think it got lost in a move. We're probably going to get another one, but yeah, that's the whole point of being in Montana, at night and looking up at that sky. We got friends who've got, there's 3 brothers, and they all share land, several, probably maybe 100 acres or so, out on the edge, out past the edge of town, and we go out there. That's where we go hunting and stuff. Mm-hmm. It's just so beautiful being out there at night, looking up. You can see the Milky Way with the bare eye, and it's gorgeous. Driven to Sanity says, or to Insanity, it's 26 here in Alabama. Oh.
I heard, isn't Alabama having a serious state of emergency with the weather or something? I saw something.
Yeah, no one there has a heater. They don't know what to do. Paul says, what company said, we talked about that. Fred says, I have finally seen this enough times. Every toolbox should have a torch. If you can't turn that bolt, then heat it up. Yeah, it can't be stuck if it's liquid. Allie says, we still have a local Sears here, and we try to support it as much as possible. They do get new merchandise and new products. That's cool.
That's cool.
Fred says, Colorado has 1 Sears left. Frank says, I miss Montgomery Ward. I miss Montgomery Ward. I liked Montgomery Ward. Big D says, it's -1 here in the Texas Panhandle. Oh my gosh. -1 in Texas. Fred Hills,
and it's
Texas
dropping to -13.
Oh. That's terrible. Okay, I gotta. What?
It's cold.
That is ridiculous. Hold on here. I gotta check. It better not get that cold here. Vegas. weather. Vegas weather says.
Granted, yesterday we were like blowing everywhere.
Oh, we had a
crazy.
We had a sandstorm yesterday. That's typical. That happens down in Arizona and Phoenix area pretty often. It's kind of rare to have it happen up here. Looks like we got lows in the low 40s throughout the week. It's going to hit 39 on Wednesday for the low, high of 60. Oh, 39. I could die.
You are going to get some. Feel free to send your hate mail to his inbox with your weather situation. 39. Mater's Workshop, $5 super chat. Since I've missed the last 2 live streams because of YouTube not letting me know, it's 14 degrees here right now and the snow is still coming down. I miss the snow. I'm going to see some soon. 3, 2, 1. And somebody said disparaging things about my triangle.
Yeah, ask the missus how many times she went out and shoveled.
Shoveled what?
Yeah. Frank says, I'll pass on the experimental vaccine. Greg says Nebraska's frozen as well. Jim says 16 degrees outside of Austin right now. Let's see here. Come on. Where'd it go? It's just there. Gary says, going to be finally getting the 44-inch toolbox. Is it worth getting the Inside Track Club then? I would definitely get it because I've seen that the good coupon on the Inside Track Club quite a bit. The Bauer or CCM. I had CCM once. I didn't really care for him. Bauer's my go-to. Fred says, is there a location in the U.S. that Harbor Freight hasn't moved into yet? I think there's one state that they're not in the lower 48. They're not in Alaska. They're not in Hawaii. Robert says, used the Inside Track Club 30% today, saved $16, walked out with a bag full of gear, and I didn't even need to find the ITC card. Like it so far. Grizz says, thanks for the explanation of what Harbor Freight is doing. I've been busy and didn't know what was up. I pray for you and your family, brother. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Fry says, why have a 3/8 hose? They're only 1/4. Why not have a 3/8 opening? I got me. Fred says, let me guess, if this is YouTube, welcome to live chat. Remember to guard your privacy and abide by our community guidelines. Yeah, go ahead.
New York Trucker with a $3 super chat. Thank you so much. 3, 2, 1. He also says, I just got offered a travel respiratory therapy job in Vegas. Got a room to rent.
Oh, wow.
We don't.
Yeah, we're overfilling.
Yeah, we are overfilling ourselves. But I've heard that travel jobs tend to pay really, really well. Granted, respiratory therapy is probably a hard place to be right now.
Well, there should be also with all the hotels being shut down. I bet there's a lot of people who've moved out. So there should be a lot of vacancies.
I would say if you have trouble, contact a hotel and explain to them, look, I'm a traveling respiratory therapist. Would you be willing to offer me a great rate? And
oh, wait. Here's the thing we learned when moving to Vegas when looking to rent. Because this is different than any place I've ever lived. All the rentals are handled through real estate agents.
It's really weird.
You won't find legit rentals usually just like floating around on Craigslist and the other rental boards and stuff. You got to contact a real estate agent and work with them. And
we thought people were like being dramatic or like overstating. Like, I'm like, okay, well, whatever. And then when we started looking, it really is. You cannot get anything.
Nothing decent, at least.
Yeah.
Anthony says, my shop has 2 sets of Tang tools. I hate to call tools garbage, but they are not up to industrial heavy automotive use. They all break easily. Well, that's a shame to hear. Anthony also said, I'm looking on SP tools as a tool alternative. Snap-on, still paying that bill down. I've not used them. I talked to them when I was at SEMA last year. I know that Rust Belt Mechanic has worked closely with them and that he likes them. Fred says, have you seen the rotary rail blower they use up at Donner? I have seen that. That thing is fantastic.
Are we buffering?
It's a snowblower that goes on the front of the train when they go through.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah, that's super cool.
My workshop says, just finished installing the Bunker Hill LED motion light. Really great light. Cool. Alex says, thank you. Bear One says, is a cordless nail gun line in the crystal balls? I think it is. I think there will be a cordless nail line that comes out for Bauer. Um, I don't think they're gonna have like the entire line, but they'll definitely have a brad nailer, probably like a brad nailer and stapler. Well, they already have the stapler in the 4-volt, so definitely probably a brad nailer. Gary says Texas cold. LOL. It was -6 today. It felt good in the sun after working in -25. We will be above zero by Wednesday. Heat wave. Juan says, any information on return of Harbor Freight free blue flashlight coupon? I would consider it a creature of past legend at this point. Yeah. It's not coming back. Fred Hill says, the only Thunderbirds that I love are the 57 to 59. I probably because I grew up in the 70s and stuff. So I like the big square boat kind of cars. Bear One says, speaking of Tesla, have you seen the video of the absolute genius that took his brand new Tesla to a gas station? Yeah, I've seen that.
If you haven't, Google it.
Yeah. What companies? We talked about the vice grips. Bremen. Yes, thank you, PT. Bremen are the vice grips I was trying to talk about. Fred says, need to know for DIY, I need a Bauer battery model. What should I get? A battery chainsaw or a recip saw? Depends on what you're doing. Okay. If you want precision cutting and versatility, the recep's where you're going to be. If you're trying to cut down anything bigger than like 3 to 4 inches, you're going to want to go with the chainsaw, because at that point the recip, because I've done a lot. I've taken trees down, small trees down with the Bauer, with a pruning, a Milwaukee pruning blade on it, and it'll do it. But the chainsaw is so much faster, but it's not precise. It's a Mack truck compared to driving a pickup truck. One's going to get you right there. The other one's this big beast that'll move things around. David says, email sent. Allie says, I had problems with cashiers not wanting to scan my ITC card, claiming it is the same as the phone number, but when they can't and the price drops, they give me the dirty look. Dan says, love your videos. I'm shopping hot rod, building tools, air compressors, MIG, TIG, welding, plasma cutter. Mostly want durability. Have any suggestions? Oh, that's a whole lot of stuff there.
Yeah. I would say any of our viewers.
Well, I mean, he's talking about a whole bunch of different things there. That was a whole show in and of itself. If you want help on a specific item, I can do that, but that is too much to answer. Fred says, in Montana, you should sometimes see the northern lights. Yes. We were supposed to. There was one time earlier in the year where they said you could, and then it was really overcast. We were really bummed. Pop's Garage says, only 5 here in Oklahoma. Tesh says, just posted at the Dental Tools Facebook page, the T-Bird. I will check that out. Paul says, we talked about the vice grips. Donna Russ says, I'm sending Jeff back to Montana tonight. Oh, no.
Yes.
No.
Mm-hmm. Because you made your 39-degree comment? Yep,
no.
She's sending you back.
Nope.
You'll
have to drag me back. Good luck with that. Driven to a Santa says, we're having major ice storms here. We get them probably every 20 years. Ice storms are the worst.
Where are you that
they're
you're
the
getting
worst?
Ice storms?
Fred says, I've been to Vegas in January when it was below freezing. I believe it was in the 80s. Yeah, it's funny. Watching people come to Vegas in the winter or San Francisco in the summer. Mm-hmm. Both times people think, oh, it's going to be warm, and it's cold. Oh, it's too funny. Pop Scratch is going to hit -17 Oklahoma this week. Old guy says it can get stuck when it's liquid. Or can't get stuck when it's liquid. How true. Backwoods Mechanic says, I got my first Doyle pliers tool haul. Some Icon. Enjoyed the inside track. Awesome. I'm a huge fan of the Doyle stuff. And the Icon. A lot of the Icon's really good. Neil says, -50 with wind chill last night in my area. No, I'm staying right here. Fred says, tell them you're a medical professional. Fred says, in Wyoming, Nebraska, for the snow, they've been using wing plow with a locomotive behind it. Woof. Gary says, Northern Lights are the best thing about being up north. The Sin, hey Sin, how you doing? He says, good to see you both. You two look like you feel better. We do. We feel a lot better. Glad to see it. Hope the Cubs are doing well. They're bouncing off the walls. They're fantastic. Backwoods Mechanic says we're having ice storms here in Kentucky.
Yep.
She's got a family event to go to, and right in that Ohio,
Neck of it.
Kentucky
Yep.
area, and she's not looking forward to it. Well, she's looking forward to it, but the weather.
Yep.
She's gonna fly into CVG and then drive.
So prayers for
Yep.
me on the road with the crazy weather.
Scott says no Harbor Freight coupons. Thank God, I'll save money by not waiting 27 minutes to pay. Thank you. Yes. When it snows, Tennessee, everyone buys milk and bread, even though the snow melts within 48 hours. It's like that in Florida. Every time, they talk about it's going to be a big rain or a tropical storm or something. Frank, get the blowtorch. We need to chase Jeff back to Montana. Good luck. I got my asbestos-proof parka. I'm ready to stay right here. Bear says, your video on the basics air compressors tools was really helpful. Do you think and the Growling Bear could do one more thing like air fitting hoses and air accessories? Yes, I have that on my list. I need to do that. Fred says for Northern Lights there's a YouTube channel called Solar Forecast. We should check that out.
I feel like somebody else has recommended that to us, so thank you.
Dan says, I'm probably buying the Miller 220 automatic MIG TIG welder, having trouble deciding plasma cutter, 60 amp most likely choice. It's not something I have experience with, so I can't really answer. I don't like to talk about things I don't have personal experience with, or I haven't had a lot of feedback from other people. We had some people earlier in the chat to talk about some of the options. It all depends on what you're doing with it. So, Donna Ross says, Jesse, come up to Michigan. Maybe in the summer.
I think that's a bit far.
Yeah.
This trip.
Splat says, going to Harbor Freight tomorrow to get some consumables for home DIY. I break down pallets for wall in my garage. Should I get the Hercules Carbide 2 reset blades or the 12-pack, both $20? Do you have to go, are you just, I think you're cutting through the nails. And if you're going with the nails, you're going to want the carbide tip. That's just all there is to it. If you're not, then get the cheaper ones. Fred Hill says, my first traffic ticket was in 1979 on I-90.
I believe it.
Yeah, that's an easy way to do that. Mm-hmm. Winter wood prices are going down again. I thought they'd already be going down at this point, and they're not. In fact, we've been trying to build this shed in Montana, and the prices keep going up. Mm-hmm. And that's why we're holding off, because I just won't spend that money. I'm sorry, but I won't. Any tips on reviving a weak lemon tree? Just pruned it and hoping this works. If it's, I don't know if are you growing it in the ground or in a large pot. If you got it in a pot, I would try replanting it, putting a lot of nitrogen and aerate the soil in the new pot. You could even take it out of the ground, put it in the pot. I don't know how big the tree is. Maybe some food spikes. Definitely the pruning is the right way to go. You got to keep it protected and get a good light and water. They're really finicky. They're really weird. I mean, I've had some that were doing great and then just died. It's weird stuff.
My silence is because I have a black thumb.
She knows nothing about them.
I know nothing.
Driven to Sanity says, we're in northwestern Alabama. I think we have 20 counties that have been declared a state of emergency. Oh my God, everyone's panicking around us.
That's what I have heard.
Gary says, get the missus a power shovel for the snow. We have used it to dig trailer. A buddy of mine got one. He hates it. He hates his power shovel.
I know.
He wants to go back to his old gas-powered Toro. I think they look like they could be fairly useful if you use them right. Allie says, have a safe and good night. It was fun catching one of the live streams after not receiving notifications for over a month. Best of wishes. Thank you very much for being here. We'll hope to see you around next time. Jim says, what's your opinion on Forney welding equipment? I don't do enough welding to give opinions on welding. A lot of questions on welding equipment tonight. And I can tell you, I'm just being honest. I don't do enough welding. You know, my basic, I've done some wire, not MIG, but flux core. And some stick welding back in the day. That's my extent. I've played around. I went over to a buddy's garage who's a professional welder. He showed me how to do some MIG welding and stuff like that. I don't speak on it. I let other people talk about that stuff. I'm sorry, but I don't like to give out information on things that I'm not comfortable with. Let's see here. Jigsaw versus oscillating tool for drywall. All right. That it depends on how much drywall you're cutting. If you're cutting outlets, the oscillating tool, they're great. Punch in, you're done. If you're doing, bigger cuts, longer cuts, you want to go with the jigsaw. Are you building a she shed? No,
he's building a
for
he
my shed, a bear's den. Have you looked in getting Starlink? I did, John. I did look into Starlink, and I was thinking about pulling the trigger. I was talking to her about it, and then Wranglestar, the other YouTube channel, Wranglestar, he got it, and he said it's great, but the latency isn't good enough for live streams, and we do a weekly live stream, so that's not going to work for us. In Upper Michigan, once it snows, it stays. Kind of like that in Montana in the winter. Anthony says, best blades for your money. Diablo blades. Waiting on them to make bandsaw blades. And typically, I've really liked, what was the bandsaw blades I always talk about? Is it Grizzly? Anyway, a lot of people are talking about the welds breaking on them. So I got to look into that. It'd be interesting to see Diablo make a bandsaw blade. Dotto Ross says, go south of the Mason-Dixie line and they can't handle the cold. No. No, they can't. And Fred says, where I'm from in Louisiana, they're going to be below freezing. Oh, good grief.
Yep.
Anyway, that's 8 o'clock, and that's it for tonight's show. I want to say a huge shout out to our moderators. Typically we do, at the top of the hour, we do a shout out, and I skipped it tonight, and I apologize. But I would like, if you're watching right now, it's time for you, yes, you, where you can adopt your very own mod. And what we ask is, our moderators help keep the channel family friendly. They remind me to stay on top of certain questions, or I miss stuff or anything. They do a great job helping out. But many of our moderators are also creators in their own right. So as a way of saying thank you and giving back to the community, if you could, choose one of our moderators and go check out their channel. Give them a thumbs up. Watch one of their videos. Leave a comment. Maybe share it. Even consider subscribing, ringing that bell. We would really appreciate it, and it would be great for you to show support with the rest of the Tool community here on YouTube. Anyway, thanks for joining us tonight. Thank you also for all your support with getting us back up and running with YouTube, and just basically forcing them to admit that there was a problem, because they did not want to admit there was a problem. But we appreciate each and every one of you. Also, thank you so much for the super chats and your donations tonight. Your support of the channel really means a lot. And a special thanks to everyone who is a member of the Den of Tools, who supports us. It's kind of like Patreon. They're the ones with the little bear behind their name. If you're interested in that, there's a link in the description below. Anything else I left out?
If you are a content creator, make sure that you link your channel.
Yes. Also, next week, I'll be here. She won't, because she's a slacker. So it'll be just me. Maybe the bear. I'll get the older boy to sit in with me, since he's still going to be here. Yep. Anyway, till next time, you all take care. God bless. And as always, shine on.